If your doorbell sounds like that, it might be time to replace that system. Well, stay tuned because in today's video, I'm going to show you how to replace those items and also even add in a wireless door chime. Now, first, let's head over to that transformer. We'll test and change that out. Now that we've made it to the transformer, the first step is to remove power to the transformer. In order to do that, we're going to need to remove these two screws here. Now, your transformer may be mounted to the wall in a different way, or it may even be in the attic. So you need to locate that transformer first and then unmount it, and then we're going to remove power. So we'll remove the screws. You're going to be very careful with this because there is still power. Now, if you know which circuit breaker removes power to your transformer already, you can go ahead and flip that off ahead of time. As you can see, my wires are exposed. So now I can carefully pull the black hot wire and the neutral out of the box, as well as the green ground. I'm going to have to remove these wire nuts, but only after I remove power. Now that we've located our circuit breaker, we'll go ahead and flip it off. Now, even though that we flipped the circuit breaker off and we've removed power to the circuit, we need to make sure before we handle anything electric that we have. So I've got my non-contact voltage tester. So I'll just bring this right by the wires. Now, if I still had voltage, it would be flashing orange here and the whole thing would be vibrating. As you can see, it's staying green. So we have successfully removed power to the circuit and it's safe to work on. So the first step is to remove the wire nuts. We've got our white, our black we removed, and now the ground. And now that we've got the power wires removed, you have your blue sensor wires to the other side. Loosen up those terminals. Now I'll keep that left and right so I remember which side they go on. You can also mark those left and right using a piece of tape. Okay, I've got my replacement transformer now. So I'm just gonna install this in reverse order. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook up my green ground. It's good practice to hook that up first. I'm using the wire nuts that were previously installed, but you can also use Wago lever clamps. Next, I'll hook up my black hot wire, and then finally my white neutral. Okay, now that I've got my white, black, and ground wire hooked up, I can hook up my doorbell sensor wires again. Now that my sensor wires are on, I can remount the entire assembly back onto the wall, carefully pushing in my white, black, and ground wire. Okay, now go ahead and tighten that down. Now we have successfully replaced the doorbell transformer. We can go ahead and add in the remote transmitter. Now I'm using the Safeguard LRA EX1000S doorbell kit. Okay, now that we've got our transformer mounted, we've mounted our remote transmitter. The red wire is going to go to your front door terminal, which if you have a 2-terminal, it's the top. Your black wire on your remote transmitter terminal is going to go to your ground. Your ground wire should be coming out of your doorbell sensor pack, and you're just going to wire that to that. Now, I don't have a backdoor doorbell, so I did not hook up my white wire. I will tape that. Now that it's all wired up, I'll put my cover on my transmitter. Now again, yours may be slightly different depending on which brand you buy. Now I've already wired in my receiver side, which is the remote doorbell. Now most brands allow you to plug this directly into the wall. Some of them are battery powered. And now that everything is wired up, it's time to flip the circuit breaker back on and test it out. Back at the circuit breaker panel, we'll flip that back on. I'll ring the doorbell. And as you can see, it lights up and rings. Some models will light up and ring, and others will just ring. It does have modes where you can put it in just light up, or just ring, or both, like I have it. Next, we'll be changing out this old, worn out door chime and upgrading it with a wired or wireless multi-chime doorbell. Step 1 will be to remove the cover off the old door chime. That just usually pops right off. Step 2 is to mark your wiring. My blue wire is on my front door and my gray wire in the middle is on the transformer terminal. You can go ahead and mark those with tape if you want, or I like to snap a pic for reference. Now that we've referenced our wire locations, we can go ahead and remove them. Now that our doorbell transmit wires have been removed, we can go ahead and unmount the chime from the wall. And what you're left with is just your wires coming out of the wall. I'll be replacing my original doorbell chime with the style selections doorbell. You can get these from places like Home Depot or even Amazon. I've included a link below on how to order that from Amazon. This particular model here can be used for wired or wireless operation. We're going to use it for wired. I've removed the decorative cover to the new doorbell chime. It has lots of options for raising the volume and changing your chime mode. So that's really up to you. Some models have more options than others. As you can see here, it has spots for batteries if you're going to use the wireless option. And then it has your terminals for front, transformer, and rear. Now we only have the front doorbell, so we won't be hooking up the rear wire. So we'll go ahead and feed our two wires back through the hole. We'll go ahead and screw down the new door chime. Now that the new door chime is fastened to the wall, we can go ahead and hook up our door chime terminal wires. Hooking up our blue to the front and our gray to the transformer terminal. Now let's test it out. The last step will be to put our decorative cover on. And that's it. We have replaced our old door chime with the new upgraded wired or wireless chime. We have also added in a wireless doorbell chime. Hopefully now you can tackle your doorbell problem, figure that out, and get it replaced or even upgrade your system. And if you found value in this video, please subscribe to the channel here and watch our next video here.